Are you ready? Are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Phenomenal.
You know how it happens. You're treating their sprains, or fixing the trains, or trying too hard to come first. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. A long, cold Vic.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own. It could be that great chalk and biscuit coating.
It's so hard to have a gay time on your own.
It could be that smooth toffee ice cream in the center. Or that whole delicious golden gay time taste.
Hard to have a gay time on your own.
Streets.
The Bogan force is too strong upon us. Our spirit is broken.
The Bogan is strong with you, but not nearly strong enough.
I am Lord Darth Vader, First Knight of the Sith, and right hand to His Eminence Prince Espa Valorum, the Master of the Bogan.
Let's see how you go with a can of beer up your exhaust pipe, mate.
Welcome everybody to this Stark background show. I'm working on the background. It's a work in progress. Thank you very much for being here. We're celebrating creator-owned comics tonight. Got a few little announcements to get to. I sent the link to Michael Oden. We're going to get Pear and Jared on momentarily, but I had to do a little switcheroo tonight. I was going to get Michael on later, but he may or may not be heavily dosed on pain medication. So we're going to find out. We're going to see how that goes. So he's got the link. He can pop in for 5 or 10 minutes or so. We're going to see what he's got to say. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for that, let us say hello to Mark. Now, Mark is getting very close to ending this whole charade at 71. The challenge is to get to 76. That'll beat Jeremy Burt's, the reigning champ. But he's trying to get there. All right, Michael is waiting in the wings. Michael, let me just very quickly say hello to Bretsky the Great. I say hello to, who else was here early? Edwin, David L., all these great people, Zombie Boy. This is the second day we haven't seen Mo in the chat. Mo normally can't make it today anyway. But has anyone seen Mo? Not quite sure. And shout out to this man right here, Felix Huss, the Link Master. Oh, and Citizen Ronan as well. A little private chat. He says, please take your time. I'm not deprived. Okay, I'll say hello to a few more then. We got Mono. We got K-pop Junkie. we have the Great Sumo Thori. Do I like the All Blacks? I'm not really into the rugby. It's not really my game. It does kind of look like Bancroft is in some sort of hotel room. I think I'm going to get black pin boards. That'll like calm things down a bit, and they can pin things up. I think that's the next step to get to. I'm just happy I don't have junk everywhere, frankly. Alrighty. Let's just bring this down. Not the show. We'll bring Michael on. What's up, Michael?
What's up, Michael? How are you, man?
How are you feeling? You got a bung knee? Is that
Dude, this has been just the gift that keeps on giving. So I was moving into my new place, and back in June, around the time of my birthday, we had some torrential downpour. And so I was getting out of my car, and there's this massive puddle, and I was trying to avoid it, and I stepped on some like uneven ground. My foot slipped, and my knee twisted getting out of the car, and it popped like 3 times.
Old man knee twist.
Well,
ankle twists, knee twists. It's
so
all the rage.
so I get an MRI done, and meniscus torn, MCL partial tear, ACL full tear, and then go to the orthopedic specialist, and he goes, so yeah, those are all bad enough, but like I think you dislocated your knee when you were in service, and when it set back in, it didn't set right, and that's caused a bunch of bone on bone stuff. You have a bunch of cartilage damage.
All right, Michael, we are on a timeline here. I know when I get you on, I gotta get the thing going here. Because you were going to have you on later, but we got you on at the start.
Yes,
I guess I need to bring on.
I know, and I do have an announcement to make. First off, everyone that backed Elysian Fields Reborn should be getting their books. Everything.
Mine is on the way. It's on the way.
Yes, I know. Critical Blast is doing that, and I will be at Fairfax Comic-Con here this weekend. So if you're in the area, I will have copies of Elysian Fields Reborn at my table. So please feel free to stop by. But the really exciting news is I've been working on this for a hot minute, and I was very fortunate. I ended up getting an investor on this, and it was very exciting stuff. But we are announcing our big book of 2026 that will also be along with Elysian Fields Reborn issue 2, and hopefully the Embrace 3.
Do you want me to bring up the image you shared with me?
I can do one better for you.
What do you got here? Hello. Hang on, let me go things so we can get it. Look at that. The Last Ride. Oh, and it's a sign up. You can actually go to it.
Yep.
Yeah, you've been sharing this with me for it feels like a while now.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were saying you were frustrated with what everyone's doing out there with Zorro. You were a big Zorro fan?
I am. And I wouldn't even say I'm frustrated with what everyone's doing with Zorro. I just thought I've always had my own story. And, a few years back, we actually came really close to getting this done. And I was working with my friend Gerald Motos, who unfortunately passed away last year. And that was kind of like the kick in the butt to be like, all right, well, I've got to make this now as a tribute to him. And so I found a great art team that we've put together, and it's just,
man, that looks great. Look at that panel.
Yeah, this is a 2-page spread there towards the end of the book. Like it's awesome. And so like it's effectively Zorro versus the Railroad Barons in the Old West. It's 2 years after the Civil War has ended, and Zorro's kind of been inactive for a bit, and a railroad baron comes up to buy up the Casa de la Vega and isn't happy when he's told no, so he hires American outlaws to bully the people off the land, and so Zorro comes back. So that's the whole premise of this. We are not doing this along with ZPI. Which is why we're calling it just One Last Ride. So that way we don't hit any of the trademark stuff, because Zorro as a character is in the public domain. You just can't use any of the trademarkable details. And so it's been a bit tricky to do that, but so long as
got the Z in there though.
Well, so this is a sequential page. So that's a bit of a thing where like this is part of the sequential storytelling, so it's not like because Zoro does do
I
the
like
Z.
this is like storytelling by get the lawyers to look over it.
I've had to be
See
very
everyone.
careful with everything, and I've gone through, but with this being a part of the sequential storytelling and not part of like the branding, it should be fine.
Well, dude, you know, everything that you've put out thus far that I've grabbed has just been top-notch quality. So, you know, I think like everyone in here is saying this looks fantastic. People are really liking it. Looks cool, exciting. You can go and sign up to it right now. This is going to be your. Did you say for this year or next year?
2026 is when we're going to be
2026.
doing it. We're very excited, and as I said, I will be at Fairfax Comic Con. We do actually have a 12-page story preview that you can get at the convention if you stop by our booth this weekend. So hopefully, if you guys are there, awesome, be great. If not, get in touch with me. Maybe I can't see if I can't ship one out to you.
Fantastic. Well, my friend, thank you very. Now I'm sure we're going to get you back on.
Absolutely.
Go over this project
One-
in detail.
100%, and there's other things that are going on too that are very exciting, but I wanted to come on and make this announcement because we're the artists are going to be at Toronto Fan Expo. They have books there, and then I'm going to be at Fairfax here this weekend, and I wanted to make sure people knew what was going on.
Excellent, man. Well, I've sent the link to our other guests. Good luck at the con, and I hope to. Good luck with your knee too. By the way, that sounds awful.
It's not been the best, but yeah. Hey, you guys have a good one, and I really appreciate you having me on. And I know that the guy following me is gonna upstage me because he's just a talented dude. So
very talented team. All right, man. Have a great night. Sleep well.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. All right. Wait, you got a kicker now. It's so weird. There we go. Oh, and just like that, there he is. Look, that was like seamless. It's like a friggin'.
I know. I made it just in time. I was watching. That Zorro book looks awesome. Nice job.
I know he's been sharing me that stuff for months now, just like sneak peeks, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, this is looking sick. It's looking great." Yeah, cool. I don't know about all the trademark stuff though. It seems to me like you're walking a tightrope there, but yeah, it is what it is. Pear, my friend, did you send Jared? I didn't send Jared the link. I don't know. Can you still?
I did send it to him, so he'll be in a minute or two, I'm sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Let me get the book up. Now you sent this to me a while ago to get a pull quote from. And because I was such a fan of the first one, I really did like the first one. And then you said, "Oh no, don't read that. We're gonna fix it." And then I got busy. I didn't get around to reading it until this morning. So I am fresh on Hotel Story right now. I'm like dialed in as much as someone can be, and I'm formulating in my mind what I want to do, what I want to say about it. But I'm gonna.
That's cool. You did that though. Thank you for doing that. I love that you read the books and have me and Jared. Like that's great.
Says,
hey, look at in Australian money we're 5 figures.
Clock.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. It's that is what it is. I didn't even know if I can change that. It makes you look richer. I don't think I can change that. It doesn't give me the option.
No, it pumps me up, but then as soon as I leave this show and go back to reality, I'll get depressed. But so it's like a shot of, some kind of drug or whatever.
David asked if I could make our images bigger. I don't think we can. I could do it in a custom one, but I don't have time to do that right now. I don't know how to. I've done one for Rob where we get us big on the side, but I don't have that in 3. I should set that up because I don't like this. I don't like this. It doesn't work for me. Or maybe it's fine. Hold on, I've got too many friggin' windows open. Let me adjust this here so we get a bit bigger on screen. There we go. That's a bit better. And hello, Jared.
Hey, Jared.
He's muted.
Hello.
There he is. Hello, nice to meet you.
Yep, nice to meet you.
You are the second part in this madness that is Hotel Story.
Yes. He is the X factor and the special ingredient kind of, because if
The
without him,
partner
it
in
would just be
crime.
another normal Pearberg book.
Well, I remember when I originally read this, I thought, oh, is this Narwhal's art? He's doing like a kind of a cartoony take on his art, and then I saw it. I was like, oh no, this is another guy. You guys, it's a two-man team here on this. So it's
Yeah.
funny that you found someone who's sort of like quasi, at least it fits. It looks totally like a
Yeah, like we kind of like similar things, and we have similar style, different but similar. We kind of like each other's styles, but there's subtle differences that kind of thing. We work good
Eric
together.
says, "Hey Bancroft, this message is for Narwhal, so please cover your ears." Well, I mean, I read it.
Is the message just the message?
Exactly. Is Kickstarter forcing people to fill out a survey to get the book? That's always the case, I think.
Yeah, they all have pros and cons. So Indiegogo tries to gyp you with a tip, and doesn't tell you about it. So a lot of people backing accidentally paying too much. Kickstarter makes you kind of fill out months later. You got to confirm your address. So just it's sometimes it means you got to email people individually, even be like, hey, fill out that
why
address
haven't
so I
you
get you your
filled
book.
in your shipping? And they're like, what do you mean? Just
I did that to you on one of them. I forget. I was
yeah.
on Vatican City. I was like, Michael, fill it out.
You're like, hey, are you sure this is you guys sending to the US, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Where is this going?
Put you out for $40 or so. No, but I am fresh on Hotel Story, and what a ride. It's a long book too, the whole thing. I read because I wanted to reread the first one as well, so I wasn't like going, who's that, because you got a lot of characters in this thing.
Yeah,
it's like ensemble cast almost.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it, I think. And either like I'm curious about people's reactions either way. But
I felt like
because of the ensemble cast, it's good to read.
I felt like I had to, because otherwise you don't know if if something happens and you don't know if, what was going on there, if that's your own fault because you forgot what happened in the first book. But no, it is definitely one big long story, and it's like, I don't know, 300 pages or something. It's a hefty story. But, and this is going to be part of what I do, I think, for my review pull quote, is that it is not like 300 pages. Like I read Hunter Ninja Bear, which I think is 300 pages. And that took me, I don't know, 2 weeks or something,
Yeah.
You can read this. I think I read this 300 pages in, I don't know, maybe an hour and a bit. I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's a completely different experience. And I'm going to put that down to Jared's art as well as your storytelling as well. Did you guys both work on the story?
Yeah, he's co-writer. I might be more head writer, but Jared definitely is like co-writer straight up.
And I tell you why, when I say it like that, there's that great cover too, by the way.
Yeah, that's
when
Jared's
I say it like that, it's like the art is we can see the style here. So that it's low on detail, but that's what I'm saying, like that serves the story so well, because it is a big long story and you just tear right through it. I've always said that about the stories that you write, is that it's kind of like you feel like you got to keep up the pace as you go as you're reading.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's similar to Earthbound. I remember when Earthbound came out, if I'm like trying to like pitch it and sell it to people who maybe might like superhero style art normally, and you're like, here's some indie cartoony style, kind of minimalist, kind of fast. It looks like it was drawn fast or whatever. And it's like there's a type of art where it's meant to be one page that is beautiful, and then there's a type of art that's meant to be like one book is beautiful, where the art style, it kind of grows on you. It can kind of build and work with the story. And not that even great superhero art can do that too, but like when you start reading this book and you start getting into the style, you kind of stop thinking about it and the flow kind of takes over. And so that's the kind of experience people need on the back end that I want people to like know about, that's happening.
Jared, did you do all the art in this book? Do you, line and colors as well?
Yeah, I did both light and color, and then
Mhm.
Pear and I we both worked on some of the 3D backgrounds on it. So like that's
Yep.
so it so that kind of falls onto both of us for that part.
Yeah.
And going back to what I was saying, like so much happens in this story. Like how you've got like a scene, a story jumps from scenes to scenes and goes back and forth and everything like that. And this obviously does all of that. But there's so many things happen, and I'm curious as to how all of that came about. Like, I mean, just take one character, and I don't know how many characters have got, like a dozen at least, probably. But like that arsehole guy, this guy here, I can't remember his name now.
Chuck, yeah.
Chuck. Like all the things that Chuck goes through, and that's just one character. It must be like 50 different things that he either happens to him or he gets up to. And that's why I'm saying like this art style is perfect for this story, because otherwise it could have just been a slog where visually you don't want to be lingering on any one panel or page for too long, because you're getting to the next thing, and it's all
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, Chuck, so there's a character who possesses dead bodies.
Mhm.
So characters may or may not die, and when they die, that is not the end. Their body then becomes a plaything. So they kind of have what's it in music, a play out, whatever, play off stage that way, kind of thing.
Another thing I noticed in this is that, and this is interesting, the characters get introduced and you have no idea whether they'll be important or secondary, or how important, or if they're gonna, like you said, I mean, it is a all-out war on these guys for the entire thing from start to finish, whether they're gonna make it, and how it goes. That was interesting, because like that made it completely unpredictable. Like I didn't know where it was going for each and every person, and it felt like, like at the start of a TV show like Game of Thrones, that was the big selling point. You had no idea they could kill off a main character
Yeah.
at any time, but then it's sort of, it gets settled in and you realize, okay, you know how the story goes, like they're not going to kill this character. No, that's not like Hotel Story at all. At any point, any character can just
Yeah.
go.
That comes from the ensemble kind of thing where, yeah, like I remember the thing, thinking of that as influence, but the thing, who Kurt Russell, if he wasn't cast as like the main guy in that movie, then you wouldn't actually know who's the main character pretty much the entire movie, because the badass black guy is like totally has a ton to do the entire thing, and he
Mhm.
survives all the way to the end also. And even Kurt Russell, you don't actually he doesn't kind of emerge as the quote unquote main character until like the final act, really. So it's almost like an hour and a half in, and then you're like, okay, he's the main character. But yeah, with horror movies, that's great because you don't know who's going to live. It works really good for horror movies. Not for other stuff, it might not work as good, because you kind of want to know who the main character is a lot of times. But and in this, if there is a main character, I think it's Salome. It's the bad guy. It's the chick
Yeah,
witch.
the bad girl.
Yeah, the bad girl.
Well,
I
I mean,
can fix her.
I'm trying my best not to give any spoilers here. Like there's a different layers to that as well, and like where the hell did this story come from?
So yeah, what the way you're talking about it, it's interesting. I like all your reactions are fun to hear and see. And I think part of it is like the story itself, because I've been pitching it. It's like it's literally a one sentence pitch. So that's kind of funny because you're like, so much stuff happens in this book. I'm like, yeah, but the story is a witch casts a mass sacrifice spell in a hotel. Like that's all
Yeah.
it is. It's one sentence. And then we do 204. I think it's 240-page story. So 240 pages is just that playing out. And yeah, some other like Arvid read it and he said it was like organized chaos kind of thing. And then
Yeah. I read I've got the
oh
Kyla
yeah, that's
and
on here. Yeah, like that kind of aligns with a little bit what you're saying.
yeah.
But so kind of where it came from, there's two things. It's what I brought to Jared, and then me and Jared kind of came up with pretty much everything as we went. But I remember we actually did like a really big character design session back and forth for every character. So that was a great starting point for all the characters to have them all kind of like iconic and have them all have like character and personality before we even started writing, kind of. And I don't know. Do you remember that, Jared?
I think we did the character design pass after we wrote the script.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So sorry. What we did was we had written it, and then we're like, okay, to even pull this off visually, every character has to be iconic. So we did like the crazy character design because we spent like months doing all the character designs, and it's fun seeing like the early versions of Salome, like, and then you can see it's in the making of book, but you can see the one where we're like, that's the one. And same with Gary, like lots of different drawings, and you find the one because we're like, he's got to be like a piece of shit. That's what we kept saying, or mostly me. I'm like, Gary's a piece of shit. Like, I kind of love him, but he's just the biggest piece of shit ever. And I'm like, how do we even draw him? Like, he's a drunk, he's whatever, he's needy. But yeah, he ends up being just a bald head. But yeah, so I came to Jared with this idea that it was the angel who possesses dead bodies. I think Jared, do you remember what I came to you had the witch doing a mass sacrifice also, and is going to be in a hotel? Or was that later too?
Let's see if I remember correctly. The original outline for the story, like it originally focused on like on a basketball team of people, or like a bus of basketball players who stay the night at the hotel.
Yeah.
I don't think there was specifically a witch at the time. I know there was some supernatural elements to it, which is which is part of what attracted me to the idea originally, and then uh, and then after we kind of agreed on working on it, then I think that's when you mentioned the witch.
Okay. Yeah, because I had a half-baked script I sent to Jared that I had given up on a year prior or whatever. And that was a boys basketball team and a girls basketball team from different schools meet on the highway and they end up going to the same hotel. And it was going to be like a sex comedy horror movie kind of story.
A couple of tennis players made the cut, in the end.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we ended up going with. Because I remember thinking, I think I was doing that, and I was like, we have a problem because I'm 40 pages into the script and they haven't even got to the hotel yet. That's going to be 80 pages of like drawing. And I'm like, that's not going to work. Like, we need to be in the hotel with shit happening pretty much right away. So that's what we did.
Let me ask you, Jared, are all your comics like this, super long and really, what's the word, decompressed?
Not necessarily, no. I've done like I think this is right. This is kind of the first big comic that I've ever worked on. Like I've done a few like smaller zines, like usually around 8, 12 pages. And this was back in like before 2021 or whenever we started working on the script on this. Like the second longest comic I've worked on was The Oval, which is about 48 pages.
Yeah.
Other than that, most of my comics have been, within the 4, 8, 12 page range.
And you're working on one now that might be in the 120-ish page range, right? Something like that.
Right. Depending on how long I want each chapter to be, like the first chapter is about 28 pages, and then
and that's Mogal Blues, which is previewed in the preview scene. Yeah, so that's
there we go.
Right.
Yeah, because this is such a unique experience, and I've come to think of when I think of a Narwhal book, a Per Berg book, is that it's written like this. It is very much like experiencing sort of like an animation or a film in comic book form, and that's gonna play a big part in what I'm gonna ultimately say about this book, I think, when I try and give you a quote, because it's a very interesting experience, and it's really cool that you were able to like go along with him on this ride, and both of you create this thing that has such an interesting reading experience.
Yeah, thanks.
And another thing, going back to what you were saying earlier, like how like it's so simple to say, like a witch, does a spell on a hotel. Like you guys don't go into any of that at all in terms of how, why, whatever. It doesn't play into the story at all. It's just like, this is what's happening. And you know, it's all about how all the different characters, you know, essentially deal with that in real time.
Yeah, it kind of reminds like one of the early things they came to Jared with was an Italian movie called Demons 2, which is like Demons 1 and 2 are like late 80s, early 90s, good fun Italian horror movies, but Demons 2 is like an apartment complex, demons go nuts, and it's like various people in the apartment complex don't die in the initial wave, so they're kind of trying to meet up, they're hiding, they're holding out, whatever. And I'm like, that's what we did, but we had kind of the witch, we had the angel trying to get the witch and stuff like that. But it is kind of like a movie, and the structure is even like a movie. Like it kind of builds, and a lot of times if you do this kind of three act structure has a big middle turning point. It's kind of built into it, and that's why like Quentin Tarantino split Kill Bill that way, and that's kind of how I split Earthbound. I've done some other books still split that way on the middle point. But yeah, this will build to like kind of a climax in the first clash of where you think it might wrap the story up. But what that does is it kind of shakes the board up, and then they get to kind of keep going. And that happens at the end of Act 2 also, where some like revelations and changes, and then it might finally end or whatever. So.
Yeah, and it's even got that moment that you see in most movies, you know, where it's like kind of all hope is lost, and how are they gonna, you know, and then they're
I'm glad you picked up that. We were doing little tinkering right at the end to make sure little things got picked up, hopefully, because
it's definitely, you know what I think? I definitely do think it's a book that you're gonna have to reread, just because literally so much goes on in this book, and there's so many characters, and I think it'll only, one of those books, it'll only get better the more times you read it. Because of that, because it's a lot to hold in your head, and maybe that's just the speed that I tried to read it at as well, because I was like, I've got 300 pages to read, you know, before I get these guys on. So I was just like going through it. But it's, you can totally do it. The art style, the writing style, totally works for it.
Thanks.
You know,
I do that too. I read this one more than any other projects I've worked on. I reread it, and you sit down, you read each volume in 45 minutes to an hour. And it's like that's similar time to watching a movie kind of thing.
Yeah. Look at this. We got all of these characters here, and the tagline for this is everyone has a story. And somehow you guys manage that in this. It really, like, I know every single one of these characters and their own kind of, you know, quirks and personalities, and I know what happens to them ultimately. So I'm not going to say anything about that, but that's quite an achievement. Look at all these. What's that? 12 characters?
Yeah, that was a challenge trying to get that all to fit on the campaign page.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No bet. I bet. This guy here, see, these are probably the two most mysterious characters, the Duke and Hannibal. So that's all I like. We don't really know much more about them other than what is presented in the story. Is this like a one and done? Would you ever kind of expand on this, I guess, universe you've built here?
We want to do a sequel, but it kind of depends on just even how much this one is a success.
Yeah.
But in the sequel, it might not be formatted like this. It might not be a 300-page graphic novel. It might be like, a 48-page. But the working title, which wouldn't be the actual title, but the kind of concept that makes me laugh that I pitched to Jared, but it would be, Where Are They Now? And everyone's, either in heaven or in hell, or they're on vacation after whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And the story.
I think if I had to say Adrian is the most unique character probably in the whole bunch, but he's probably my favorite too. If it's a he, I don't know.
Yeah.
Angel. I guess they can be anything they want. And so many fun things happen throughout because like it is literally murder and mayhem from the moment the pizza boy goes up into the penthouse in the first book, and it is just non-stop from that point on. as it all unravels. So Adrian gets a lot of opportunities to like do some weird stuff. There's a really fun thing that happens towards the end when he starts. Can I say it? I mean, Adrian can go into people's bodies essentially.
Yeah.
As long as they're not too chopped, and that kind of leads into the
Oh
cool
yeah,
thing.
yeah. Yeah, that he's kind of one of the high concepts, I guess. The just possessing dead bodies is fun. Like I remember when I first thought of it, I was like, oh, you could have a guy, have a knife, he throws it at someone, they die, then he teleports into their body, pulls the knife out of his own head, throws it at someone else, teleports to them, and he's kind of like teleporting around the battlefield based on who he's killing. And that I
Yeah.
was like, that would be a sweet action scene. So we did, and we got to work that into this one. And the thing too is, yeah, it is like it almost is a 240-page action scene, almost like, yeah, because once it starts going, everything's happening, kind of thing. But,
Yeah, but because there's constantly challenges change, and like little they're kind of like little mini quests that
Yeah.
they keep running into an issue and then they solve it, and that only opens up a new issue, and they're trying to get to the roof and they're trying to do other things and everything. So it's not just one giant melee. There's all sorts of things going on in there.
Yeah, these like
as
little
it goes
stories
through.
within the stories, kind of thing. Yeah.
Exactly. No, it is a really cool concept, and I like that it was contained all within, even like it literally contained as a spell over the hotel, and then even if you manage to get out, it's just like there's nowhere to go.
Yeah. There's
So
like
like
an abyss.
it's hard to kind of classify this story. It really is its own thing. Jake says it sounds like it would make a pretty epic live action movie. 100%, or an animation or something. I could totally. I mean, you can already sort of see it as you read it. When you guys read it, you'll be able to sort of see that happening.
Yeah,
totally
that's
would
cool.
work
That's
like
kind
that.
of what we're going for. I kind of am unashamed, like about my comics being kind of like movies. I don't care.
I am as well. I think you and I, we write similar. That same kind of decompressed style, which
Yeah.
isn't traditional comic book writing, where you can fit. Oh, you can get the whole origin story that they would put in one movie into like 20 pages or something.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, because the Lucent is like that. It's like a movie. You can read it in one sitting super easily, really fast. But the difference between us is you draw every window on a city in every panel.
I
And it
know,
still works.
but
It's great, but
it
it just means,
doesn't make
yeah.
any sense.
Yeah.
Well, I do it like that. I just, I'm a dramatist, I suppose. Camel asked, will you release this in one single trade paperback?
Yeah, it kind of depends too, still on the success. It needs to be, this base. I really want it to hit what the first one hit. So the first one had 300 backers. Right now we're at 104. So and we're gonna do Indiegogo 2 at day 30. So it'll be 30-day Indiegogo, 60-day Kickstarter, and yeah, we really want to get to 300 total. If we can kind of keep that readership going, get people reading it and liking it, and some word of mouth, then we're thinking about doing a collected hardcover, kind of prestige style or whatever.
At the moment, it is still my favorite Per Berg book, but I'm waiting for is it What is it?
Cerberus, yeah, the dog one.
Cerberus.
Yeah,
No,
that's
we'll
cool.
see.
I'm glad it's your favorite. I
Good
think
one.
it might be my favorite too. I really like this one.
It's just fun mayhem. Like you can see on these pages, it really is just murder and mayhem and fun, and
Yeah,
you kind of
that. Or real quick, that page we took the dialogue out, but it's not spoilers. But on that one, Adrian is like, "Ha, swine."
You end up sort of rooting for your favorite characters, and they even get a chance to like in any good story, there's a little bit of redemptions and growth and that sort of stuff like that. Even in this just one night, definitely actually at least two of these characters on this page have really big arcs that sort of change them
Yeah,
over the length of the story. Critical Read says, I like the fluidity of comics that read like movies. Yeah, it's a different way of doing it. The only bigger problem with it is if you're writing a really long story, it can take a lot longer to finish it.
Yeah.
I haven't done 300 pages. I've done 210, I think, all in all for the Lucent, but I've got a long way to go.
Yeah. What'll that one be when it's all said and done?
Yeah, I didn't. It probably end up probably at like 4 or maybe even 500. Oh my god.
So that might be, is that almost more like if you convert it, like it's not a movie, it's like a mini series, or would it be like a 3-hour movie? Or
I think it would be a long movie. Yeah, a long
okay,
movie.
yeah,
So,
like a Christopher Nolan movie. Actually, so
yeah, yeah.
I'm sure, yeah, everyone likes Nolan. That's one thing he does that I really like is his movies. They end and they had such cool world building. You're like, I want more, but then that's all it is, and that's kind of like Lucent is like that, and Hotel Story is a little bit like that, I think.
Yeah, that's why like a lot of people say the Lucent is like the Matrix, and there are a lot of similarities. And I have borrowed a lot of you know, the visual stuff and everything. Even, you know, there's some similar story stuff. But that's what I loved about The Matrix, the first one. It was a movie.
I know. Why did they make sequels to that?
And then they had all this extra, but it was all implied. It was all there. It was just in your imagination. You don't want to actually see it.
Yeah.
You don't want to actually go there and like, you know, experience it. You want to keep it in your mind. So it's like, that's what I want to do with the Lucent. There's all this world out there that everyone seems to know about and talks and refers to, and their whole what motivates them as characters is you know, it's that world that they live in. But you don't have to actually go there and get involved with it. And it didn't need to happen. So yeah, that's what I'm doing as well.
For this, it's like the Duke he lives in Pandemonium, which is like in a painting, right? Or that's in Dante's poem. I think it's not in the Bible, but like Pandemonium is like Satan's kind of castle in hell. And so, yeah, you say Pandemonium, and I'm like, ooh, I want to like have a scene in Pandemonium. And we're like, no, we're not going to do that in this story. Maybe we could do something like that in a sequel, but that would do that. You know, you're playing with fire because you're like taking it away from people's imagination.
Sorry to harp on about the Matrix, but a lesser known thing rather than the sequels was the Animatrix, which was exactly that, little side stories, little 10-15 minute animations about the world. And they were great, and they were all in different styles, and it didn't mess with the main storyline.
Yeah.
I can grumble.
Yeah, so we could keep kind of doing some of that. And we do a fair amount of animation together. We both trailers for these for 1 and 2 are animated. And we're working on another little something maybe before this campaign ends, just a little fun animated clip. We have a short that we might try and do in the next year. So we'll see. So stay tuned for me and Jared's kind of animation collaborations. But that's another thing we're just trying to do. Kind of.
Critical Read says, Jared, you may be quiet, but high praise on your work on this book. There you go.
Thank you.
I did play the trailer at the start, but let's play it again because it is worth looking at. I do have to stop sharing so that we can get the audio in though. Chrome tab, there it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jared did the music for that too. He's a composer. So.
Oh, is there anything you can't do, Jared?
Yeah, Jared, what can't you do?
No, he can't think of anything.
Right.
Yeah, you can't play tennis.
How long have you been making comics, Jared?
I mean, I've been doing them in some form since maybe around late elementary, middle school. Like nothing serious.
Yeah.
I've done. I started making zines sometime around 2015. As far as like stuff that I would actually sell and give out to people. But yeah, but
How did you guys
yes,
meet? Start working together?
Jared lives in Iowa City, and I lived there for 16 months or something 10 years ago. And he was in college. I'm a little older than him, so he was in college doing animation stuff. And I would walk to campus and just go to clubs and like the not clubs to dance, but like there was a video game making club, there was an anime club. So I'd like go to those just to like have something to do kind of. And the video game making club, Jared was a part of that one. And through that, he hosted one weekend, he hosted a comic jam and I participated. And I remember Jared's comic was the best one of the whole comic jam. So from that moment, he was kind of on my radar, and we were kind
None
of
of
friends
this
while I was
surprises
there.
me. This all checks out.
Yeah, yeah.
I was waiting to say, yeah, we were both bathing in the river.
Yeah, yeah. No, I bathed in the river in Iowa, but not with Jared. It would flood, and it flooded the parking lot of this bank up to their windows, and I went swimming by their windows, and it was making me laugh. But
Have you ever bathed in a river, Jared?
technically, way back in like elementary school, like we had a what do you call it? A field trip out in like a camping trip, and we did like this like penguin club kind of thing where we like got up really early and went into like the super cold creek. So I guess
oh
that would
yeah,
count
nice.
as river bathing,
Yeah.
I,
So you're a river boy.
right?
Down by the river. We have some fantastic rivers actually down here that like they still look exactly like they did 150 years ago. They have, those old buildings.
I'd be scared of crocodiles and snakes and
No,
stuff.
not down here. Not down here. You just got some Murray cod, some big ugly fish.
Oh, nice.
But no, the croc. If so, Australia is flipped to the US. Yeah. So you guys. So imagine our south is like Washington State.
Oh yeah.
And then our north is like Florida, the tip of the bottom. So the crocodiles are all up north. You don't have to worry about anything like that down here. You'd have to worry about snakes, but
Can you see Antarctica from the beach?
no, because there's another big island there.
Oh,
So
okay.
at the bottom of Australia, which is the mainland Australia, which is where I live, there's the what is it called, the Bass Strait, and then there's Tasmania, which is shaped like the pubes of a woman.
Curly?
Just a random fact. So then there's that, and when I say it's an island, it's a huge island. It's like massive. I don't know how big it is in land mass, but it's probably like it's a good size anyway.
Yeah.
So if
And
you're
that
at
is like that's like your Alaska then, right?
What's that?
That's like your Alaska.
Yeah, kind of, but maybe not that big. It is really cold down there. So yeah, if you're at the bottom of Tasmania, which is just wilderland, no one goes down there. Yeah, then you're getting pretty close to Antarctica, and you'd feel it for sure.
Oh, cool.
That's actually why Australia is the way it is, because all those dry Antarctic winds come up and just blast over the continent, and that's why it's a desert in the middle. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're like, what? You could just flood the entire interior of Australia and get more use out of it than what is happening there now. Like you drive into a certain, drive inland enough, you start getting signs. It's like, do not drive any further unless you have rations for like a week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's these funny signs. Otherwise, it's like listing all the things that are going to kill you in here. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's right in the middle is the desert kind of.
Well, I mean, you say right in the middle. It's more like we live on the edge. So
yeah.
If Australia was a piece of fruit, everyone lives on the friggin' the husk or whatever.
Oh
The
yeah, like
entire
the skin.
interior is almost unlivable
That's
for
cool.
modern people.
Are there conspiracy theories about what's in there? Is it like
No, I
are
mean
there
people have
untouched tribes?
Nah, it's no, nothing like that. Nothing like that. It's all China owns all of it now. It's all just cattle ranches and you know nature reserves and but
Yeah.
it's all just friggin' desert.
Yeah.
It's it is a no like most Australians all live at the bottom. Or at least on the coast. I think it's like 90% of Australians live on the coast. But I think it's pretty similar to most places in the world. Most people do live near an ocean.
Yeah.
Somewhat. Yeah. We've kind of gotten sidetracked here from Hotel Story, but we got more viewers. People want to hear more about Australian outback.
Yeah. It's good to catch up on my Australia lore, whatever.
It is interesting, even to me, because I'll find things that I didn't know either. Coils, you get away with holding a secret compound out there. And there's probably some of that. You guys have army bases. Are you American, Jared?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have army bases here, secret ones where they do secret stuff. You guys have army bases everywhere, but there's one here. It's like Area 50. What is it? Area 51?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. It's like that, but in Australia. And the Google Maps.
Someone should do a comic about that. That's like already a good idea. That's awesome.
Yeah. So if there were more people and you could actually get there easily, it would totally be a place for people to go and try and break into or see something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, and New Zealand is somewhere around there. They have similar accent, and that's where all the billionaires are getting citizenship, and they're building bunkers for the end of the world.
Really?
In New Zealand.
Yeah. Don't. If you're a billionaire, don't come here. This is the worst place in the world to come. They're gonna take all your money. It's Area 52. Area 52.
Call it. That would be a sweet name for a comic. Call it Area 52, and it's just Area 51 in Australia.
I thought there was an Area 53 already. I mean, I could probably Google it. What is it like? Area 51 Australia. Like someone must have already thought about that. We could find out the actual name. I don't know.
Camel says there's a Studio 54.
Pine Gap. That's what it is. It's called Pine Gap.
That sounds creepy to me.
Yeah. Let me bring it up. So it's a joint Australian-US satellite communications and signals intelligence surveillance base.
It's literally right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah, like this is near nothing. Like if I can click on this, so it's here. The closest city is up here.
Oh wow.
There's another one down here somewhere. There's one over here. I'm here. And then everyone else is living.
It's almost like they only get there with helicopters or whatever, planes.
Oh yeah, that's like there you go. Look at the logo.
What? That's creepy too.
That looks like it's out of a Bond movie.
Yeah.
No, Mike, it's exactly where they want it. It's near something. Is that what it looks like? No way.
It's like a cult in the middle, a little oasis.
Oh, that's in Canberra. That's totally different. Like
okay. No,
look how they got like green on it. It's like out of sci-fi.
Yeah.
What are these orbs?
That would be a cool Mad Max story. Is like maybe it's just abandoned and dead, but in the wasteland they find an old fort.
Look, they have a swimming pool for the aliens.
Yeah.
Relaxation. Why is this building shaped like an H? I have a lot of questions. Pine Gap. Yeah, so it's like even if you had aliens here and then they escaped, they'll just die. There's nowhere to go. I mean, what are you going to walk for a month through the desert? And it's like the Sahara out there. And there's a snake. If I go back, How do I get out of this? Let me out. Oh my God, it's not gonna let me. Let me. What the hell? What is it doing? What is this? It is totally.
Is that the Australian flag? What is that?
That must be in a Air Force. That's the Air Force flag of Australia. I want to get back to this map. There's a tiny little area somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is. It's out. It's a tiny little zone. And in that zone, there's a snake called the inland taipan. And it's like it's the most venomous snake of all in the world. And if you get bitten by it, you're dead in like 15 minutes or something.
Oh, damn.
But you can only find it out there. But luckily, no one goes out there. So, we're all fine. But yeah, that's what you might run into that if you try and escape.
Yeah.
We got way off track. They know where you are now, Bancroft. Get out. Yeah, the aliens. I don't know. I know. I would have pondered those orbs too. Hotel Story is sitting on $11,000 dues, which is $7,188 US dollar bucks from 104 backers. You said you're going on to Indiegogo at some point?
Yeah. At day 30. So what? In like 13 days, we'll launch Indiegogo. I guess this is the first public announcement of that. So I don't know if Alex VRB is watching, but that makes it not a stealth launch. Not a stealth launch.
Now apparently, are you going on Creative Block today?
Yeah. And are you too?
Apparently I have. I was like, that was like very casually mentioned last week. And then I was like, I don't remember. I don't always remember exactly what day Creative Block is on. It's just on. So if it is indeed on, I should probably raid into it, but I don't know if Rini has set it up. So I saw JQ answer the DM, but does it exist? Is it set up? Can I raid into it? Because I know Rini likes to make them last minute. So, you're on Phil's. It's set up. Okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna have to go friggin' find that. Hold on a sec. Diaz. Zaid Comics. That's it. It's not coming up. Where is it? Zaid Comics. Live. No, Phil is away. It's on Irene's. Okay, I totally read that wrong.
Yeah.
Totally read that wrong. Okay. Creative Block. Tunnel Closeout. Why isn't that coming up? How weird. Okay. I will raid into that. And I may be 5 or 10 minutes because I got to go have something to eat before I jump in.
Okay.
So that's going to be it. Thank you very much, Pat. Nice to meet you, Jared. Great work on the book.
Right. Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no worries. Look at my wife calling me. He was speaking in millennial quick speak.
He was putting commas all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. Make sure you go back. Hotel Story, definitely one you don't want to miss. I'm going to be hanging out with the gang over on Rini's shortly. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic night, and I'll see you tomorrow for another show. I'm going to have Vaughn on tomorrow. Talk some Phenomenova, which is another big hit. All right, until then, see you guys. Bye.
Perth made an Australian video, and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.
Thank you.